Hey guys, how's everybody doing since Insidious the Red Door came out in theaters last Friday? Here is my own personal ranking of all five Insidious movies. Now, yes, I did not, in fact, review Insidious: The Last Key, so you're just going to hear my thoughts of on it here. I'm sorry I did not get my review out. Stuff has gotten to me lately. I've been reviewing the Mission Impossible stuff. I haven't really had time to do it with my job and all this stuff going on. So you're just going to be hearing my thoughts on it here. I'm sorry if you wanted a whole separate video on it, but you're just going to hear my thoughts on it here. But with that being said, let's begin. Coming in at number five, to me, is easily the worst of this franchise, and that is Insidious: The Last Key. Look, I feel that this movie is okay. I don't absolutely hate it. I don't think it's one of the worst movies ever made, but this movie is just boring. Now, I honestly don't even remember that much that was going on. I was literally just sitting there, just like, oh, I have like another hour left. Okay. I'm like, that's literally how I was. I was bored out of my mind watching this movie. I could not believe how bored I was. And I'm not the only one. I've actually seen people saying that they actually fell asleep watching this movie. And I don't blame them. This movie's fucking boring. But there is a thing that I do really enjoy is the key monster thing. Now, sadly, we don't really get to see it much, which is really disappointing because I was all over the marketing for this movie, but we barely get to fucking see it. Like, sure, it shows up in the opening of the movie and it shows up during the final act of the movie, but other than that, we see jack shit of it, and that really disappointed me because when I saw that cover and everybody saying how the key monster in this movie is super fucking cool, I was like, okay, maybe that's going to be the upfall of this movie. The one thing that I really loved about this movie, and it was for what we got to see of it. And I was really disappointed that we hardly got to see it. I'm like, what the fuck? You marketed the fuck out of this thing, and now you're just and you showed me all of its scenes in the fucking trailer. That's like showing all of Michael Myers' scenes in Halloween Ends in the trailer. Something I was really mixed on in the movie where was like the origin stuff with Iris and all that. I was like, okay, that shows off stuff I didn't really care about. Like, I don't really know what the purpose of it was there, but this movie's fine for what it was. It's just a passable Insidious movie, but it was just a boring Insidious movie. And number four, above that is Insidious Chapter 2. Now, here from All Out, I really enjoyed all of these movies. But Insidious Chapter 2, I think, is a pretty good follow up to Insidious, but it's also just answering stuff that I didn't really want to get answered, especially like the Bride in Black, which is the whole movie, which is like based it on. Like, that's like this whole entire movie is just find out what the Bride in Black is and what he is and all that. I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. Where I think it's cool that they're doing that, but it's showing too much of the character where it doesn't make the character scary anymore. Like, you know what this character is now. Like, I mean, for stuff that we didn't know about and more of the stuff that shows us throughout the movie, sure, it makes the character a little bit more interesting, but it's showing me answers I didn't want to see. But I did like Jack what? Patrick Wilson's performance in this movie where he's possessed by the Bride in Black and he tries to kill his family, but at the same time he's trying to fight it off. Patrick Wilson's performance in this movie when he's possessed is easily the best thing about this movie, but it's just showing off too much stuff that I just didn't care to see. And at number three is the new kid on the block, and that is Insidious: The Red Door. By all means, this movie should not exist. There's really no purpose of this movie except for a brand new story, seeing the family return again, and just more scares. That's really all this movie is. To me, Insidious Chapter 2 had the pretty good ending for those characters, but what I was more interested in after I finished watching Insidious 2 for the first time, which, yes, these are all first time watches for me, when after the end of Insidious 2, I'm like, well, they got their happy ending. What makes the fifth movie so special to where they want to come back? Which really had me interested. And the fact that Patrick Wilson directed this movie, I was like, hell yeah, dude, he's a great actor. I want to see what he can do directing. And he does a damn good job directing this movie. Like, the scares in this movie, sure, a lot of them are generic and all that and stuff that we've seen, but there are actually really good parts in this movie. Especially the scene where he's kind of doing like a matching thing where he's trying to find like pictures of his family because he thinks that he's having memory loss. And then when he lifts him up, you can see like a person just standing there like throughout the window, and every time he puts him down, lifts him up, it starts to come closer. Like that type of stuff is really good. The direction there is good. And especially like how this movie really focuses on Dalton and Josh, which I really enjoyed, where they were just like the standout and they're trying to figure out if they're going crazy, like trying to figure out their memory again, which I really liked. But this movie doesn't really need to exist. It's just a generic Insidious movie that we've all seen. But out of a lot of them, this one was a lot more that I really enjoyed. Like I really enjoyed this movie, which I did not expect. Maybe because I'm not a big Insidious fan and I'm just now getting introduced to them, and I'm like, okay, they're fine and all that. Maybe if I was more of a bigger Insidious fan, maybe I would have this one lower. Maybe this one would be my least favorite. But I really enjoyed this movie. I had a lot of fun watching it, and it's probably out of all the Insidious movies, I would probably rewatch this one the most. Coming in at number two, we're in the top two now, baby. Number two for me is Insidious Chapter 3. Now, I thought for a while that this was the best Insidious, but I had to rewatch this one and the first movie, and I wanted to recalculate which one is better. But Insidious Chapter 3 ended up at number 2. Now, I think this movie is actually really good. The scares in this movie, along with the fifth movie, are at their best. The direction of Lee Winnell is great. I actually really enjoy some of these characters, but not all of them are interesting. Some of them I don't really care for, like the main girl in here, like main character. I think she's pretty interesting, and the fact that she can't go anywhere since she has broken legs and all that. But this is just another generic Insidious movie. I mean, if you just want to watch a passable, like 90-minute Insidious movie, this one's for you. But I feel the direction Lee Winnell takes this movie is really good. The scares are definitely at their best here, along with the fifth movie. I think this movie is really good. I love the direction this movie takes. I love the scares. I like how this movie is taken away from the main family, but yet again, this movie is a prequel, which is a good thing because I actually didn't know that this was a prequel when I first watched it. When I was watching, I'm like, this is like weird. Why are we answering some of this stuff? And then I actually had to look and I'm like, oh, this is a prequel? And this is a very good prequel to where it doesn't answer too many things, or where it just feels like it's just like gone on to a different family and all that, which I really like, and which I wish that they would actually do. But since Lin Shaye's character is dead, they didn't know that she would be a lovable character. But this movie's okay. I really enjoy it. Out of all the Insidious movies, this is the one I enjoy the most. At number one is the original Insidious. Now, when I first did my review, I thought this movie was okay. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I'm not a big haunted house fan. I feel that the haunted house subgenre it's fine. It can be its own thing. I will watch a haunted house movie and I'll be like, okay, it's another Insidious. It's another haunted house movie, I guess. Poltergeist is the only haunted house movie that I really love. And that's where this movie is a downfall for me because it's just an Insidious ripoff in a way. An Insidious what? A Poltergeist ripoff. But this movie is one of the better haunted house movies in modern times because I really love this family. I think some of the scares are really good. I really like the demons that we're introduced to. This movie's a damn good time and it has pretty decent scares. Sure, the loud fucking booms though is the worst part about this franchise. It's just big boom is when a fucking jump scare happens, like, ow, my ears. Like, when I was in the theater watching Insidious The Red Door and that would happen, I would only jump because how fucking loud it was. Like, Jesus Christ, stop that! I think this movie's good. But it's never gonna be a movie I ever really think I'll ever rewatch, but if somebody wants to watch this movie with me, I'll watch it. But it's never gonna be a movie that I absolutely love, and I don't think it's ever gonna be a movie that I really want to rewatch again. But out of all the Insidious movies, to me, this is easily best. That's it, folks. That is my own personal ranking of all five Insidious movies. Please let me know in the comments below what your ranking is, and please do not send me death threats. Send death threats to my mother because I didn't say the ranking that you wanted to hear. This is my list. Not everybody's list is going to be the same. How about instead of that, you just leave me your own personal ranking? Good? Alright. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, like it. If you love to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you will get notified for my latest videos. Then please share this video so reasons YouTube will yell at me if I don't say it. Thank you all so much for watching, but until my next video, take care.